Yo, what's up, Flomies? Today, the topic is going to be string length. Everybody asks about string length, especially when they're beginners. A lot of beginners think that the longer the string length, the better, because you can always just choke up on your string length and then you have all this real estate to deal with, to work with. Not exactly the case. Let's start with the standard string length. So basically, to figure this out, hold the orbit in your hand. Your handles should fall right at the crease of your elbow. So for me, if I was standard string length, my handles would fall right here and my string would be taut. So there would be no slack. So it would be like this. But I tend to like my strings long, so I have them longer than this. As far as the length that most orbiters have, they have it up to this length and down to maybe about this length. That's the going range of where you want to be. The reason why I have my string length like this is it's comfortable for me. I switch between a lot of different grips in order to choke up on the string, and it's comfortable for me. It's all a feeling thing. So I would just start at the standard length, lengthen it, shorten it from that standard length, and figure out what works for you. For my length, if I wrap 2 times around my hand, I am essentially at the orbit. And the reason why this is nice is because when I wrap once and I'm in the shotgun position, the length is pretty much equal right there, and I can do tricks like this very easily. As far as grips, the standard grips are going to be, you use 2 fingers and 2 fingers. You use 4 fingers, then 1 finger. Those will pretty much cover the majority of what orbiters use. I personally like to use 4 fingers, then 2 fingers. That's my standard grip. Sometimes I will do 4 and then 3, or I will do 4 and then 1. And sometimes when I'm doing wraps, I will just wrap with 2 fingers so that I'm in a little bit shorter of a string length in order to do certain wraps. So the advantage of having strings that are shorter is that when you do things, you can move a lot faster. So for example, if I choke up here and my string length is shorter, I can just wrap a lot faster than if I was at this longer length. So that's one of the advantages, is that it's a lot faster. That's a little bit dependent on your orbit weight too, but in general, the shorter the string length, the faster you can go. For example, Roper goes really fast. His strings are a lot shorter than mine. This longer setup tends to be easier for these slower type of handle tricks. If I want to move very slowly, that is nice. As far as where to get your string, you can pretty much buy it from like anywhere, any of the sites like Wild or Stone or UFO. If you don't want to buy it from there and you want to buy in bulk, you can also go to Amazon. Just look up like 2mm string and you can find it there. There's different string diameters also, so that's going to affect how the tension works, so how it spins. I use 2mm string, and that's pretty much the standard of what people use. Some people use 3mm, some people will use shoelace, some people will use like 4 strings instead of 2. If you're using 4 strings instead of 2, it emulates more of what shoestring is like. So shoestring, you will be able to, because it's thicker, you will be able to accelerate this faster, but the breaths, so each of these spins where it goes one way and then the other way is breath. Each breath will be shorter, whereas this thinner string, the breaths will be longer, but it is hard to accelerate it from a dead stop. I personally have just gotten used to accelerating it pretty quickly from this thinner string, and I like the longer breaths because it affords me more time to move in between short string moves and not have to like constantly pull the orbit in order to keep the tension going. I also do find it kind of nice when I practice and it's daytime, or at least when I can see the string, that the strings are different colors, then I can kind of tell which handle is which. That part is a little bit nice.